Welcome to More Than Dentistry, where your hosts Evert and Waldo discuss life, dentistry, and everything in between with dentists around the world.
Hello and welcome to the More Than Dentistry podcast. So let's see it as like your third date. First date, you're nervous.
Yeah.
Second date, you've scored a few times, and now you've settled. Everything's settled.
Yeah.
So you can be calm and be yourself.
Just be yourself.
Okay, so just before who are you? Tell us about yourself.
All right. So, are we on live now?
No, we're not.
We're not live.
No.
Okay. Hello, all the people in TV land.
Okay, wait. Before we start, let's just set the tone.
Yes.
So we're at the study group meeting. We've got a dental study group called Studygroup 2, and we're in Mazep. No, where are we? Wavecrest in the Transkei of South Africa, one of the most beautiful places.
Yeah.
I think we'll post some pictures of where we are.
Yeah.
And we're interviewing one of our good friends, Altus Fourie,
Yeah.
one of our inspirations in dentistry, one of our mentors, one of the funniest guys in dentistry, I think. And we are challenging him to start a stand-up comedy gig for dentistry.
It's
So-
just because there's not enough money in the industry itself, so we all starting something different,
side.
you know. But
And
the
I
money's
think-
not good.
The money is in stand-up comedy.
Yeah. That's the way of the future. Now, I think I don't know, what was your question?
Just tell us about
Challenging it.
yourself.
Yeah. So I'm a general dentist in Uitenhage. I've been practicing for 15 years now.
Just you're old now, eh?
Hey. Yeah, you know,
You don't
time
look
has
as
gone
old.
quickly, you know, and the funny thing about dentistry is I still feel like a newbie, even though I've been working for 15 years. I'm still so challenged by wanting to give a good standard of care. You know, and a lot of days I feel like, you know, we tend to focus on the one case that doesn't go as planned, or, you know, the way we want it to go. And I think dentistry is tough in that way, that it's very, you can keep a lot of things to yourself, because you feel like if I tell other people, you know, I didn't get good contact with my filling, or the filling's gonna leak, or this or that, you know, you're not a good dentist. So a lot of it's in your head, and I think that's a challenge, you know. I think that's where mentorship and study groups and things like that are of a lot of worth, and I would encourage young guys to do things like that, just to get talking about dentistry and to realize that, you know, we're all sitting with the same things, but to enjoy dentistry as well, you know, because it can be quite a lonesome job. So I've always been quite keen on being part of a group practice, whereas a lot of people would want to have their own practice and do their own thing. I enjoy having company and
Tell us a bit about how your practice operates at this stage.
yeah. So at the moment, we basically I'm in partnership with Johan Sherman. He's about 17 years my senior, which is sometimes, I think, you know, if you've got people that's not the same age, could be quite a challenge, because you've got out of a different era. But Johan and myself get along quite well. He was like he's still a mentor to me, and so the two of us are in partnership, and we've got another dentist, Willem Brandt, that's also working with us, and then we've got hopefully two other dentists one has already started, another one that's gonna start. So we're trying to build a bigger practice, foreseeing that the NHI is gonna start in South Africa, which is gonna be an interesting time for South Africa, but I see it as an opportunity. I think if you structure it correctly, you could use our facilities as like quite a nice big building, so we could manage a lot of people through there, give good service to them, and then it can maybe be a source of extra patients coming to our practice for, call it, more specialized work. At the end, that's what I enjoy more than restorative dentistry. I don't really enjoy basic drill and fill work that much. I know that's a big part of the job, but I would like to focus more on more aesthetic type of little makeovers. Doesn't have to be these big makeovers. I enjoy just doing like a small makeover that's cost effective and makes a big difference to people. I don't really enjoy kids that much, but I'm not bad with them. I think
How many kids do you have at home?
Of your own.
of my own that I know of. Yeah, I've got 3 kids at home. So yeah, it's. I think that's. I'm very proud of being a father. I mean, that's my. I always say that's why I do all these things. So working is my one thing I do, but my family's my most important thing. So yeah, but to get back to your question about our working place, so yeah, we've got a good atmosphere going. We've got a nice working space. I think that there's challenges in South Africa in regards to dentistry, and I think the way forward is spending time with other dentists, trying to reinvent what we're doing, focusing on certain things. To make it a profitable business in South Africa is a challenge. And I feel for guys that's working in a practice that's doing drilling and filling type of work, working really, really hard, maybe struggling a little bit at the moment. And I feel for those guys. And that's why I feel like if we can all get together, that's why you had that podcast with Floyd van Rooyen about that GP star. And I think that's a wonderful initiative. I think that's what we need to really empower the young people and really help them through this process. Really to enjoy dentistry and to get the most out of this profession. It's a wonderful profession. Yeah.
Can I just chip in quickly?
Yes.
You're talking about drilling and filling. I think there's nothing wrong with drilling and filling as long as you've got the bigger picture in mind.
Yes.
Because 80% of even my work is still drilling and filling, but that you need to find that 20% of patients that you're really going to do nice work on, and I think that's what the guys are missing. There's nothing wrong with drilling and filling, but always see that you are there to fix the whole mouth and not just one tooth. And I think that's the big issue. Everyone focuses on one tooth at a time.
Yeah, I think that's where we say we like to do a smile makeover. It's not to do a smile makeover, it's to create some change, a positive change for the patient.
Yes. It's not all about aesthetics, it's making a change. Yeah.
Sometimes one front tooth that you do a composite on and changes the guy's life. So.
Yeah.
And we do actually have an amazing job. Like the things you can do to people are like amazing. Like I went to like a builder the other day or whatever, and someone walked into me and like gave me the biggest hug and introduced me to a daughter and said, "This is the guy who changed my life." Wow. And I couldn't even remember the woman, but like a couple of months ago,
it was a night.
It was one of those
late night in the Mexican in Jeffreys Bay.
And
this is your father. This is your daddy.
Anyway, but we actually sometimes see all the bad things, but we actually do have an amazing job, and we get freaking paid well for it as well. I think.
Yeah. Exactly. I think Valdi, you also artistically inclined, and I think we can really do a nice get a lot of artistic value out of dentistry. Which I quite enjoy. That's one of the biggest things I do enjoy about dentistry. And it's and there's so many scope for different things that we can do at the moment, and I've just recently gotten into doing more with continued education, doing more courses and I think there's a lot of value in that as well.
So what kind of courses do you enjoy?
Well, I do enjoy at the moment, like composite work. I do enjoy that. Doing aesthetic composite work, that's more my focus at the moment. We're going to a course in Brazil in about a week's time, implant course, which is also going to be quite interesting. I think implantology is one of those things. I dive into it every now and then, but I think I would like to just get into it more. I've recently seen that I enjoy surgery quite a lot. It's taken me so long to really just, these days everybody's talking about just focusing on one thing and getting very good at that. and it's everybody's also always what's your interest, but I find that it's taken me 15 years to just
Figure out what
what I like to do. So I've been doing everything. My hope is within the next 5 years is to really start honing in more on specific things that I really enjoy doing that most of the time.
So like implants and aesthetic work.
Yeah.
And
Composite.
ortho? I thought you
Ortho,
liked
I do ortho as well. I enjoy that as well. I don't have that many cases that I'm doing. I think I've got at the moment, say, 20 active cases at a time. So it's not like huge part of my practice, but I do enjoy it quite a lot. So yeah, I would love for that to pick up as well. So yeah, I enjoy that as well. It's quite a nice, clean part of dentistry that I enjoy.
Well, that's a cool thing. You need to figure out what you like first. So there's I don't understand how people go into specializing in the first year of dentistry. They become a dentist and they specialize. They don't even have a clue what dentistry is all about. So you've got to learn the basics. You've got to learn all the things, and then decide what you like.
Yes.
But with your knowledge of all the other stuff, you're not only going to do that. If you see a case that's actually better for ortho, you've got the ortho knowledge to refer the patient to get ortho instead of pulling the teeth and doing an implant, whatever the case may be. And I think that's important for you, because we want to speak to young people starting off. It's important to do everything in the beginning.
I agree.
Except kids.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Nobody's
Nobody's that
So
stupid.
maybe one day get some pediatric dentist to come and talk to us. Maybe change our minds.
Yeah. I don't think so. But you've got to cover all the bases. And once you've got all the bases, then you can specialize in whatever you like. And obviously implants, I think it's one of those things where you've really going to want to do implants, because if implants goes wrong, it goes wrong horribly, and it's in my opinion, it's not as predictable as a lot of other things. That's what I like about composite. It's super predictable. You can change it. You can do whatever you need to. And but implants are not. So if you want to get into implants, you need to make sure you really. I don't know what you think.
And I think they always tell this at the courses. Just wait for doing a simple case. Don't try and rush it. The first guy that comes in your door with a boatload of money to do an implant case, wait for that premolar that's got a hell of a lot of bone, and
with all the bone in the world.
Then you look like the best out there, you know. That's the thing is you've got to know when to refer. You've got to know when to not do a case, and choose those, call it easier cases that your success rate is high. Then you know, I've seen that with wisdom teeth. You know, I choose my cases. You know, and you know most of the cases are quite easy cases, so you don't get lots of swelling. The patients are always thinking that you're this wonderful surgeon, but it's just because you're choosing your cases well, and you're not putting that extra stress on yourself to do a case that you feel like you know. It's
But I also think you've got to put yourself under pressure at some point.
yes,
You can't always be careful. You've got to learn and progress, and you've got to progress. You've got to test your limits and see where they are. Obviously, in a safe environment or whatever it might be. But
on that point let's ask this question: is what do you do in that case where you've maybe pushed just over the limit, and you feel a little bit uneasy about that case? How do you handle it? We're now talking about having friends that we talk about dentistry, but what's your coping mechanisms? What
once
do you
you've
do?
already messed up, or while you're
Well,
busy
yeah,
messing
in your
up.
process, you know, you're maybe not gonna sleep so lekker tonight.
Yeah. Well, I believe in talking about it. I've got a call it a life coach. It's just a nice term for a psychologist.
we actually interviewed him last week.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah,
Lekker.
Nathan.
Yeah. So I'm seeing him say once every 2 weeks or something like that, which I find so helpful.
Would you recommend it to other people?
I would definitely recommend that. So yeah, I think that's been of a lot of worth. But I think in regards to dentistry, I think there's nobody else that would understand as well as another dentist, and that's where building relationships with other dentists that you're friends, and you're able to go and have a drink. What I usually
Drinking
do
is important.
drinking
It's very
is
important.
yeah.
Baldu doesn't drink for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
He drank enough in 2010, that's the problem.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's where humor comes in. I think humor is a easy way of just relieving stress a little bit and making a joke about something that's not really that. Sometimes it's a tough thing for you, but joking a little bit, and about it, and it makes it a little bit easier. We've got a WhatsApp group that you guys are also part of, that we sometimes communicate with each other in that forum or whatever. And then, like I said, I would, on my way home, I would phone another dentist friend of mine, like JP or whatever, and I would just, tell him this case that I did, and I'm feeling a little bit bad about, the thing, and I tried to do this and it didn't work that way or whatever. And also with Johan at work, we share our mistakes with each other. So there's that thing. So I think for myself, it's about just talking about it, and then having good psychology, if I can call it that. Learning good psychology in regards to not thinking that everything that doesn't go the way that you wanted is a failure necessarily, but seeing how you can better yourself and learn from that, call it thing that happened. So I think that's. Do I need to look at that the whole time or not?
Until it falls off the screen.
Okay.
We're making a video for Instagram. Altus is very good looking, so we just want to show the ladies out there.
Yeah.
Never know.
That's getting the ratings up, eh?
I was like,
You did your studies on what gets ratings up. Anyway, so I think talking about it, having good psychology, I'm listening to a lot of podcasts that helped me tremendously. I mean, just to get motivated about dentistry and excited about dentistry again has made a huge difference to my life. So I spend about an hour a day on commuting. So I'm using that time as best I can to listen to podcasts and to just get myself in a very positive state of mind. Yeah.
What got you excited about dentistry again? And when were you not excited about it?
When was I not? I'm constantly trying to get excited about dentistry. I go through so much emotional things about life and work and all of this. So for me, it's always been a challenge, if I can be honest about that. So I always try and do something to make myself excited about work, and so I think for myself, it was basically just the last while listening to podcasts has just made a big difference. I think I heard a statement the other day that was for me quite good. He said, "There's nothing better than that you can spend or invest in than mastering your occupation." So investing in whatever way, listening to stuff, buying good equipment, investing in time at work, all these things, you're spending so much time at work. We recently revamped our surgery. We're still busy with that, and just making it a space where you want to be, and that you're feeling, at the top of your game. Because I've seen that your confidence level and all of those things rises when you've been doing all these things. You're just a better dentist. So I think the mental space in that part of dentistry has always been for me like quite a big part of my thing, that I'm doing. I think you get different type of dentists. You get your guys that's task orientated, and you get your people that's more people orientated. I'm very much a people orientated person, so people affect me, and that's a difficult thing about dentistry is most people that come to you are not necessarily in the happiest state. Some people have got pain, some people are, so you've got to handle that. How you handle that and getting, wiser in regards to handling patients is something that I'm getting better with. and that I will continue pursuing, because I think if you can handle the situation best, know how to handle that whole scenario that's playing off there, it will just make your job easier.
Altus, let's talk about your comedy career, because I think we need to spend time on that. Altus is probably the funniest guy I know in dentistry, so I've challenged him to start a talk and maybe make it like a stand-up comedy thing.
Yeah.
So what's your plans for that? What are you gonna do? Just give us some.
I mean,
tell us some
we
jokes.
started this
Just
thing.
Just make us laugh.
You're gonna shoot a gun at my feet and say, dance, dance. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a part of my a part that I do enjoy is comedy. I mean, the whole idea of doing something like that would be quite interesting. I think we need to laugh a little bit in dentistry. I think we need to look at there's so many things. I think when there's fear involved, and the whole scenario that plays off, I mean, there can be quite a few jokes that can be funny. So I think I'll work at it a bit. Maybe I'll get back to you.
I think honestly we are way too serious about dentistry.
Yeah.
I gave this talk at the GP store thing, and like no one laughed at my jokes. Everyone looked at me for the first 10 minutes. No, they were good jokes.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm actually also quite funny. No one tells me that, but I think
okay. Yes,
I'm more funny.
He's Alec the funniest man.
I'm the funniest. You're second funniest.
Yeah.
But the jokes are solid. I tested them beforehand, and they just looked at me.
Yeah.
And like I told them, okay, this is actually a joke. When I talk about my mother-in-law and how I screwed up her teeth, it's not really true. Well, part of it is, but it's really just a joke. And then afterwards, everyone started laughing. But I think everyone is so freaking serious in dentistry, like, especially these congresses. Everyone just thinks they're so bloody important. And
that's
want
the
to be
thing. Is
seen.
my
That's
question
ridiculous.
to you is, why do you think we are so serious? What makes us?
I've listened to one thing, and while we have a lot of people that are probably more people orientated, if you actually go and look at who gets accepted into dental school,
Bunch of nerds.
probably all the nerds.
Yeah.
So
Except you
and they're all probably firstly more task orientated.
Yeah.
And things need to happen. I need to do a procedure,
Yeah.
and then the life skills actually come in. Whereas you have a big advantage if you can actually talk to people like you've done all your years, and build that. And that was for me. I'm an introvert. For me, it's really difficult, or initially was to build a relationship. And once I started doing that with my patients, it makes makes a difference.
But just like Altus, I'm sure you do it, bringing like comedy into the surgery. Like if people laugh, they just feel immediately they feel safe with you.
Yeah.
They like you more because you're a funny guy. Obviously good looking as well. That helps. And then you, like, the guard is down, and now you can just be yourself.
How
and
do
relax.
you use charm in
It's
your
a big,
practice?
it's a massive
It's a big part of
my
your
practice,
practice.
obviously,
I mean, how many
Especially
time
with
do you
men.
spend
I prefer that.
compliment? What do you feel
Complimenting
like
men.
gets you best results when you
If you
complimenting
tell a guy
somebody?
it's got good hair,
good hair is always a
guys
good.
like their
Yeah.
women. Let's not go into that. We'll cut this out. No, but honestly, I think if you can laugh about stuff, and I really think we spoke about this 2 minutes ago, but I think you should pursue this thing. We get like a little comedy routine, and you start doing it. I promise you, if you joke about dentistry in front of 10 or 100 dentists or whatever, it's going to be a cool thing, and it'll be a nice break between serious lectures. And people want to see funny things and laugh. People want to see the funny side of dentistry because we're all doing it. And we all make these stuff up, so we don't really talk about it. So if someone takes those day-to-day stuff and actually makes it into a funny talk, show your cases and then tell us something funny about it or whatever. I think it's really a good concept in
and
dentistry.
using real life scenarios,
Exactly.
like we were chatting the other day about the lady that walks in with the low top.
Yeah, exactly.
And the way that everybody handles it, and the way that the assistant drapes that patient as if they, going in for surgery, they're covered up completely.
But that's what's funny, every day-to-day stuff, because that's what happened. Like a guy like Michael McIntyre, I mean, he takes a normal day-to-day thing and he makes it super funny. Because that's what we all relate to. We all know if you throw an iPad at a kid, it's going to stop screaming, and we all do it. So you want to take those things and bring it into dentistry, because it's such... I mean, the amount of times I've sat laughing at you at courses, I've laughed more at you than listened to lecturers. I mean, I only go there to laugh at you. So it's like, I really think you should pursue this thing and do something.
I'll work out a little thing, and then I'll hopefully I can come back in a 6 months or somewhere and then do it with you guys. Pitch it, So
Altus Noah.
No, we'll get you a nice name.
Yeah, we'll work out something.
Yeah.
I'm more into. I'll work out something. No worries.
Okay, Altus. We try and keep this podcast to about 30 minutes, so we're not going to go on too long. But I also want to say what message you've got for young dentists out there that's struggling. They've trying to find their feet. What do you think they should be doing?
Yeah, I've got a heart for young dentists, and I just think go out there, look for a mentor, somebody that you can work with, that you can look up to, somebody that you that's doing that which you want to do as a dentist. I would say a young dentist I would say don't go into practice on your own in the beginning. Go and work for somebody at least for a few years. And go and work for somebody that's the type of dentist that you want to be. So go and search for that, because I think there's a lot to be learned out of mentorship and just looking and seeing what people are doing, and connecting with other dentists. So become part of a study group or just connect with other dentists.
And it's not easy though. It's easy to say that. It's difficult for guys sitting in a, let's say, Medicross in East London. He's got no connection with the people working with him. He's got to go out and look for someone physically or like join a study group like ours. But there's actually not a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I think it maybe just doing the basics thing of going to a course or going to maybe your local SADA meeting if there's one.
But you don't learn anything, I think, realistically. You learn, a lot of guys show all their fancy work off, and then
but you don't have to learn anything. You just need to talk to the guys.
You need to connect with them, and then you need to follow that connection up. Because you go to a course, you meet a guy. Let's say Altus is there and he does his comedy stint, and you like comedy and you want to learn more from Altus. Go to Altus afterwards, say, listen, can I buy you a beer? And then you have a beer with him and you say, listen, can I call you if I need advice? And then actually call him. And call him within the first week. Because it's really nice to help young people. And in our study group, we've had all the help in the world. I mean, we've been so privileged. When I first did my first implants, Darby drove down from East London, he sat with me and he did the work basically for me and gave me the money. And you don't get that often, but it's nice to give that back. So Altus is open for if anyone wants to call him, give him a call and ask him advice. And it's really nice as a guy that's been working a little bit to get someone to ask you a question. You actually feel like you can actually. And the other thing I want to just say is a thing called imposter syndrome. A lot of times we're scared of putting ourselves out there because we don't want to impose on anyone. Don't do that. Like if you're a young guy and you want to learn about implants, go freaking do implants. Don't feel like you shouldn't be doing it. It's only for specialists. Obviously do the things right. Go and get trained properly. Go to the implants and aesthetics academy and do the basic stuff, but do the stuff. Don't not do it. So many times we learn something and then we don't do it because we're scared we're going to step on someone's toes. If you want to do something, freaking do it. And
I think what you said, Valdi, about us as dentists being quite a little bit introverted maybe, or keep to ourselves. I think that's a big challenge to put yourself out there. But you've got to come a little bit out of your comfort zone. Go to, like you say, go to the local SADA meeting. See if there's a guy that's just your age. Chat with him, see what he's doing. Try and just start connecting. I think we're not very good connectors, so we need to just connect with people, and I think that's quite key. But phone guys. I'll chat to anybody that's willing to listen to what I've got to say.
So, where can people connect with you?
So I've got a Facebook page, Dentist at Health in Uitenhage, and
Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram, so what's your Instagram?
Dr.Altus Fourie. So
What's your cell phone number?
Just for the guys out there.
Just for no, I don't mind chatting to anybody that need help.
Your BBMs.
Go mix it.
Yeah. So yeah, anybody can 084999075 bloody blah blah. So I don't have to give out my home address as well. But yeah, no, anybody that feels free to give me a call, even if it's just to chat a little bit and get advice. I mean, love to help. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much, Altus.
Thanks, Waldo. Thanks, Evert.
Yeah, Altus, I really think that you are really an inspiration for me personally, and a good guy and a good husband and a good father. So we actually look up to you, and we want to thank you for what you do for us.
Cool, man. The
Awesome.
feelings mutual.
Right.
Cool.
Sure.
Cheers.
Dus ek dink die rundown is basies is jy moet nou maar net iets van jouself vir ons vertel en waar jy praktiseer en ek sal net soos 'n kort dingetjie vertel van ons saam rugby gespeel het op universiteit.
Okay, cool.
Jy verloor seker.
Paar jaar het ons sonder coach gespeel. WP van Sail. Ja. As coach was. Wat in die span is.
Wie was WP van Sail die coach?
As ek een game gewen al jaar.
Sy het al wel 'n bietjie gespeel.
Is dit lekker gespeel was?
Dit was derde span geweest. Ja. Yes, dit was
een
lekker
game gewen. Is dit lekker span gees gehad? Ja, so wen. Dis stand ook in 'n partytjie. Jy wen nie, maar dis lekker. Lekker span gees.